Just knew that I always had this like kind of rough and tough side to me.
Yeah.
And at home, like, my dad always had his hands up and he'd be like, oh, 1, 2. Like, he taught me how to punch before anything. Even the boxers kind of found it a bit strange, like, what's this little girl doing here? It was a good job I stuck to it, because that's where my confidence grew, really. I wouldn't say that was fair though, because I was allowed to throw whatever.
And then
he couldn't punch because, oh, she's a girl. But just to wind me up every now and again, he'd pop a jab and catch me. I kind of got known as, oh, like, she's a speaker as well now. Like,
yeah. Face painter, speaker, boxer, lawyer, what's next?
I didn't realise it was a big thing. For me, it was normal, like, oh, I'm a coach. At least I've got my certificate now. I can just carry on doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But one thing that I realised, like you asked me before, what advice would you give to a girl who wants to do boxing but couldn't? I realised, how about...
When I went, plus I like Turkey.
Yeah, Turkey's nice.
Turkish people, their hospitality is next level. Plus they like Pakistanis, they like us. So when you go over there, they'll treat you like kings. When we went in like lockdown, so not many things were open, just like the few restaurants and whatnot. And it was nice, man. And normally they say that Marmaris is like rammed, like it's so busy.
It is in the summer. It's mad.
Have you been Marmaris?
No, but I just know it's mad.
Have you been Antalya?
Yeah.
Antalya, I haven't been. What's that like?
See, I've not been Marmaris, so I can't say. But
what's the beaches like in Antalya?
The beach was nice. We literally just went for a chill though.
Do you get nervous?
No, not at all.
You're quite confident?
Yes, I would say so.
Okay, I want to get straight into this podcast. One of the reasons... Well, thanks for coming on, first of all. One of the things that a lot of people have said to me is that we need to get more females on the podcast to get their perspective on things. And so, which is one of the reasons why I invited you on. Yeah. Also, I've noticed that you've been in quite a few media publications and news articles. You've been on previous podcasts. I'm thinking, like, what's this girl all about? We was talking regarding your family and if your family's laid back. And then you mentioned to me that you're not even Pakistani.
I'm not, no.
So I assumed you were Pakistani. I'm not gonna lie. So why is that? Do you get that a lot, do you?
All the time.
So why did I think you was Pakistani?
I don't know. I get it all the time though.
So you're Indian?
Yes, I'm Indian.
Full Indian?
Full Indian.
Mum and dad both Indian?
Yes.
Where in India are you from?
So my parents were born here and both grandparents from both sides were born in Gujarat.
So do you speak Gujarati?
Yeah. But it's not, right, this is another conversation I have all the time. It's not the formal Gujarati.
Okay.
So you know how you have like Urdu and then you have Punjabi, which is a bit more slang?
Yeah.
It's like that. So it's not actual Gujarati.
So you speak the slang version?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what I'm saying, yeah? I know this one phrase. And I don't know if I'm going to be saying it right. This is something that someone told me a very long time ago. And it might be offensive, so I don't know if I will keep this in the podcast.
This might be funny.
And this is, I don't know if it is or not, because only some people know what I've said and some people don't know what I've said. Do you know what I'm going to say? Okay, so this is... Okay, so... Teri gaama kukra bangra kariche.
What? It's something about your village?
No, it's not.
Or is it about a cow?
Teri... To be fair, I know because we say grind.
Oh, I know. Wait, say it again.
Teri gaama kukra bangra kariche. Teri gaama kukra bangra kariche.
No, I don't know what language. You're not even speaking Gujarati.
Yeah, I think I've been had.
I get what you're trying to say, but it's
And
no.
this is what we talk about in the podcast, people.
Yeah.
This is how we're going to inspire the youth. All right, talk to me. So, because obviously I assumed that you were Pakistani, so that's probably my fault for not doing as much research as required. Because one of the things that fascinated me in regards to sort of what you're doing is you've gone into something which is boxing, becoming a boxing coach. It's not quite common, is it, for a young South Asian female to kind of be doing these things?
Yeah.
And again, assuming that you were from a Pakistani background, such as myself, I know parents are not necessarily open for their daughters to kind of go into something like this. It's like a boy thing to do, or it's you might get hurt and things like this. So what was your experience like going into something like boxing? What was your family's sort of take on that?
I would say firstly, obviously being Indian as well, our cultures are the same. Because my family is very mixed. On my mum's side, especially, I'd say, where we've got like Indians, Pakistanis, we've got reverts, we've got a mix of everything. So, yeah, I'd say both Indians, Pakistanis quite similar. But in terms of starting boxing, even before like seeing that it was boxing, my family just knew that I always had this like kind of rough and tough side to me.
Yeah.
And at home, like my dad he always had his hands up and he'd be like, oh, 1, 2. Like he taught me how to punch before anything. And yeah, when it comes to even chilling with the cousins, like I would always be with the lads rather than with the girls. We didn't have many girls in our family anyway. We were always outnumbered. But they always knew I was a tomboy.
So you've always been a tomboy then?
I'd say so, yeah. Well, it just depends on the situation. I can be a really girly girl sometimes.
Okay.
In the past, I've done a bit of like modelling as well. So like when it's time to be like really girly, I have quite different personalities. It depends what day it is.
Look, that's interesting though. But okay, so there's one thing liking boxing and playing around with your family, and then actually taking it serious to go into like, becoming a coach.
Yeah.
So I want to delve into a little bit sort of how and what your mindset was like going into that and why you decided to take it seriously. But before that, you're studying law, you was at your law. So why law first start? Why did you go into law?
Law was quite a quick kind of switch for me. My passion was always English. But I thought I was going to take the science route based off the kind of what was normal and expected. So I did my work experience in a dentist and I fainted. And that's when I realised like dentistry is not for me. But then I thought neither's any other science related career because I can't be put in 4 walls. Like,
okay.
I just kind of get this sort of claustrophobia and I like being out and I like travelling. So when I got my results, that kind of reflected because I did better in my English than my sciences. And when I went on results day, I got asked that, do you really want to do science? Like, is this the pathway that you want to take?
Well, your teachers asked you this?
Yeah, it was. I actually tried. I went back to college and I tried to find out who it was because I needed to tell that woman, I think you might have potentially changed my life. But nobody seems to know who it was.
Okay.
But yeah, we decided after that, I said, I like arguing. I like having an opinion. So she said, why don't you try out law? So I decided to do law, English and religious studies.
Oh, so this was something that you decided that you wanted to do. So it wasn't like persuaded by family or anything like that?
No, it wasn't persuaded by them. But one thing I did do, unlike anybody else at the time, that everybody just kind of enrolled and then went about their day. I called my parents in and I said, I need you to come in to kind of, like verify am I making the right choice? And they were fine because like, at the end of the day, law's a good career path as well. And they saw that in me. We always sit at home and we have a laugh. If my mum studied, if she didn't get married really young, she would have gone on to university and she would have done law as well.
Okay.
There's definitely a solicitor in my mum.
Ah. So you think you've gone off like your mum?
Yeah, definitely.
Is your mum a bit of a tomboy as well?
Yeah.
Is she?
Yeah, actually. My mum's got 36 first cousins. That's just on her side. So my grandma, there's 4 sisters, 4 brothers.
Okay.
Between them, they've got 36 kids.
Wow.
And my mum's like one of the eldest. She's not the eldest, but she has a lot of male cousins. So she grew up like that as well. She's always going on about telling me about how she used to like jump off walls and rip her jeans. And yeah, she has some really funny stories. And I think that's where I get it from.
And what about your dad? Do you think you've been influenced by your dad at all?
Yeah. I hear quite a few fighting stories from my dad.
So it's in your blood, isn't it, to be a little fire?
Yeah, we could say that. Yeah.
Okay, so from what I've gathered, you've gone into when it's come to uni, you've decided to take law.
Yeah.
It's something that you think was boxing on the cards at any point at that.
Boxing came about when I was in school.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit about that.
So in school, I was always doing extracurricular sort of things. So I started off doing this thing called like Children's University. And again, that was because of my mum. She kind of always looked for opportunities and things I could do as well as study. And Children's University was all about accumulating as many hours as you can outside of school. And then at the end, it'd add it all up and then you'd graduate and get a certificate. And this was when you're like, I don't know, 13 years old.
Okay.
Even younger, actually, I think 12. And then when I was 13, she kind of found the Duke of Edinburgh Award.
I remember that.
Which my school didn't provide at the time, but she found other schools in the area and she said, oh, why doesn't your school do it? So kind of externally, she managed to get me onto the Duke of Edinburgh with my friend, and we did the bronze and the silver together. So for the silver, I needed a sport, and you need a voluntary, you need a physical, and you need a skill section.
Why, to take part of?
Yeah, to get the award, that's what it is. So again, it's additional hours of extracurricular activities.
And at the end of it, you get a reward?
Yeah.
Okay.
So at the end, you get the Duke of Edinburgh, whether it's the bronze, the silver, depending on how many hours you've done.
And what were you going for?
So I did the bronze and I did the silver.
Okay.
I didn't get onto gold because then I'd just like GCSEs and things came in the way. I could have done it at college, but I was just doing quite a few other things, so I just left at the silver.
Okay, so that's when you decided to start boxing?
Yeah, that's when I started boxing. So, yeah, my brother at the time, he wanted to get into something, and boxing was suggested to him, and I thought it was just convenient. And in my head, the plan was only to do it for 6 months.
Okay.
Because I thought, I'm going with my brother anyway. It'll be good. Just get my 6 months done and dusted.
Were you scared?
Of boxing?
Of the whole okay, I'm gonna join a boxing class, or.
I didn't know what to expect, but when I first went, it was weird because I was just this little girl in a boxing gym full of like big lads.
So you were the only girl?
Yeah.
So how did that make you feel then? Did you feel like, I'm at a place, this is not for me, or did you think, I don't care, I'm gonna do what I want to do?
I can't lie, from what I can remember, the first kind of few sessions, I remember just kind of like being a bit separate from everybody else. So maybe it took me a bit of a while to gel. But one thing I learned very quickly was that everybody was really nice and supportive about it. I think even the boxers kind of found it a bit strange, like, what's this little girl doing here?
Yeah.
But no, I think it was a good job I stuck to it, because that's where my confidence grew, really.
Okay. So you feel as if that boxing helped you in more than one way?
100%.
Okay, I find that interesting because, a lot of people would have been put off by that.
Yeah.
Going into a very male-dominated sport and going out there and sticking with it. Okay, you may have gone to the first time, but the second time they're probably thinking, oh, that's not for me. There's too many guys there and I'm feeling like I'm being judged, or whatever it is. Like, what do you think kind of helped you push through it? That whole sort of, or did you not feel it, or did you just think that I'm just gonna do it?
I don't think I felt it.
Oh, really?
No. I think, just like I said, first session maybe, but rather than anybody's opinions on me, it was just me thinking, is this right? Like, I don't know. But straight away, I became really good friends with like my coaches and kind of getting to know. One thing about me, I'm a proper chatterbox. Regardless of where I go, I don't care. Age doesn't make a difference. Your gender doesn't make a difference. I can chat to anyone and everyone.
Okay.
And I think that's what helps, like being a chatty person and actually getting to know, and then realizing that we all have so much in common. Like everybody went to school, everybody goes to college, we're all kind of doing the same thing, and this was just like a passion that everybody had, and that's the one thing we all had in common.
So would you say you're like an extrovert more than an introvert? So you're more outgoing, bubbly, confident. What's your perfect day? You know how they say your perfect date night. You know how they say that, and some people love going out, being center of attention. Or are you more of a stay at home movie?
Do you know what? There's no way of saying it, but I'm literally both.
Both.
Yeah. There's days where I want to go out, I want to do everything, I want to see my friends, and then on other days, the days I switch off and I don't want to do anything, I just want my own company. So okay. I could literally sit at home, watch a movie, have a chill day, and do absolutely nothing. They're the days where I just feel like I don't want to like kind of socialise or interact with anyone. It's more like a switch off thing. It's nice. I do that every now and again. Just
kind of your time.
Yeah.
Gather your thoughts.
Yeah.
Things like that. Okay, so you're like an extroverted introvert.
Yeah.
So would you say you're more of an extrovert though than you are an introvert?
Not necessarily, it might seem that I am, but I am, a lot of the times, I am on my own and I'm with my own thoughts, and I do like doing my own thing. Like, if I had the choice between socialising and kind of being productive on my own, I'd go for the second.
Okay.
Like, it might seem like I do love socialising, and it's not that I don't like it. I enjoy it, but it depends. There's a time and a place, and I think a big thing is who I'm with. If I don't feel like what I'm doing is productive, then I'd rather be at home.
So you're a bit of a little hustler.
Yeah.
So where's that come from?
I don't know. I think that's come from... I'd say I am, like... You are what you kind of consume. And I watch a lot of podcasts and kind of business related things. I've always been like a big fan of The Apprentice, Dragon's Den. I remember since I was younger, I completely missed the YouTube phase, in the sense that, you know, when kids were watching KSI and I don't know, there was other, like, the comedy kind of thing. I've always been a very, like, serious person in terms of, like, work. So when I was younger, I remember I used to love reading, like, horror stories and murder mysteries, and then I'd kind of look at different different jobs, and I was very inquisitive about everything. So I'd say I've just been a constant learner.
Okay, I can sort of relate to that, to be fair, because I think, like, I used to be a big fan of The Apprentice and watching these kind of things rather than watching other nonsense on YouTube. So I'll definitely get that. And so, like, I want to go back to sort of the boxing.
Mm-hmm.
So you've gone to your first session. You've continued to go. You're starting to enjoy it, from what I can see. And then what happened? So then when did the whole coaching thing come about then?
So I went for a couple of years. We were first actually in the Tyson Fury's building. He had like a gym, and
in Bolton?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was in Bolton on Hallowell Road, and my amateur club was based there. And then we moved in between, so we moved to like a community centre, and then in between that, like, I had my GCSEs, and then I had my college A levels. And in college, I realised that I could put boxing off to kind of study more, but it didn't help, because it was kind of what I used to get my mind off things. So you know when you have exam season and you're really stressed out, I realised that there's something missing, and I think that something was literally going to the gym and just punching a bag, or like doing pads, and I was lacking some sort of focus. So when it came to A levels, I didn't go, but it's the first thing I did. As soon as my A levels finished, I went back.
You were itching to go back.
Yeah, I went back, and then I noticed there was like quite a few new kids in the gym. Like, now I've grown up and there's like younger lads, and my coach always used to like, oh, Sannah, take him on the pads, because I knew, like, in terms of like competition, my intention was never to like get into boxing and like be competitive, and that's purely because I would have never gathered that experience, like being in for my area and kind of doing matchups alongside studying as well. It would have never happened, and I knew that I wouldn't have been able to put like my 100% into that. So when my coach mentioned like, oh, kind of taking a few people on the pads, I became more confident with that, and then I just kind of took it upon myself, where I used to do it without being told.
Okay.
Until it got to the point where he goes, you should really consider. He goes, oh, do you fancy being a coach? And I just kind of laughed about it, and at one point he was being serious, like, no, like, genuinely, like, go through the route that you have to and become a qualified coach. And yeah, I thought, why not? It didn't, at the time, I didn't really think like I was doing much, but it was only until I became a coach that everything kind of changed.
So, you know, like, when you did start boxing, did any other girls start joining?
So there was, on a couple of occasions, there'd be like the odd girl that's come in, but then after one session they wouldn't come back.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I can imagine a lot of girls would probably have gone to a class thinking, you know, I want to do boxing, and then realised it's very, like, again, male dominated, and it may not be within their comfort zone.
Yeah.
But for you, it didn't really
No, it just, I'm quite blind to it. If I enjoy it, I enjoy it.
No, that's good. And I think you've obviously got some sort of confidence in yourself where you don't allow these things to kind of, you know, get to you, which is good. What advice would you give to someone then? You know, like a young girl now that has some interest in, you know, doing something along the lines of boxing or something like that, but they're scared. I can imagine a lot of young girls are scared. You had your brother.
Mm-hmm. But if my brother wasn't there, I think initially, because now the roles have reversed, because my brother's going through his GCSE year, I'd say I'm more in the gym than him. Like, since I became a coach and I've been doing my own thing, I'd say I've been more into it than my brother. But again, I think it's just because of his age and what he's doing right now. But I don't know, he might grow up to decide he doesn't like it at all. He might not pursue it.
Okay. Again, going back to those girls, what would you say? If you had like a very good friend, that wanted to do boxing, but she's very scared. She's scared of judgment. She just may be out of her comfort zone. She doesn't know what to expect. What advice would you give to that person?
I've always been a big believer. I've always been a big believer in you don't know if you don't try. You can't kind of form this opinion that, what are other people going to think, or what are other people going to say, or what might they think, because like I thought the same thing initially, but when I went into that gym, you realize there's so many different kinds of people. We had a 70-year-old in the gym, like smashing pads at the age of 70. Then we've got like a young 7-year-old lad. We've got somebody studying. We've got somebody working. But everybody's there for the same reason. And I thought if any of them cared about each other's opinions or even have opinions, they wouldn't be there in the first place either. So yeah, I think that's with anything, not just boxing. If there's something that you want to do, you have to kind of strive towards it. It's not going to come to you.
I like that. I like that way of thinking. It's kind of just putting yourself out there without the fear of judgment. And I think if you do have that fear, try not let it get to you. Just try it out maybe.
Yeah.
And I think what would probably help is maybe take someone with you.
Yeah.
Because I know you potentially had your brother. I think that's probably another key. But I wouldn't let it stop you even if you don't have someone. Definitely try it out. Did you go into like sparring? Did you spar at any point?
So this is what I could never, because there wasn't anybody there. So what we did do actually, kind of go for height and build, and just so that I can kind of get a bit of an experience with one of the lads. Yeah. And I mean,
how did that go down?
He'd throw the odd jab here and there, and I'd kind of show what I'm made of. But again, I wouldn't say that was fair though, because I was allowed to throw whatever.
And then
he couldn't punch because she's a girl. But just to wind me up every now and again, he'd pop a jab and catch me. But yeah, there was just that. I guess if I fully said at that time, right, this is it, I'm here in the gym, I want to do boxing, then obviously the coaches would have strived to make that happen for me. But because for me it was always education first, then boxing, because it's just a hobby. We never got to that stage.
Okay, yeah. How many times a week did you used to go?
2, and then sometimes 3 times.
Yeah, I recently started taking up boxing.
Have you?
Not to do anything serious in boxing, just for my own fitness and.
Yeah, but that's how we all start, and then we all get the bug.
See, I know why people like it.
Yeah.
And I know why people should go. Like, definitely, boxing training is like, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, but it's very hard. So I do it. It's one of my things that I'm doing to kind of get back in shape for my fitness, because the training that they put you through, bro, is mad.
Yeah. Like,
you'll be sweating buckets. Like, I remember the first time I went, I nearly passed out. Yeah, because there was like circuit training, then it was on the bags, and then there was a bit of pad work, and then one of the guys wasn't listening to the coach,
right.
So we all had to go outside and do laps. And but I like it because it's not just for your fitness, it's good for your mental stability. It teaches you discipline. Do you feel as if that's kind of what you gained from it as well in regards to sort of the boxing aspect?
I think the 2 things for me, the best 2 things that I got out of it was discipline and sacrifice. And the main thing I was sacrificing was my free time. And then discipline in the sense that what you eat, and kind of going back to again what you feed yourself. And I don't just mean literally, I mean like the social media side of things, and what you I learned so much. Like, do you know, seeing such driven people, I kind of learned how they go about things. And once you kind of get into it, you realise that it benefits you in such a way you don't want to get back out of it.
Was there any times where you just didn't want to go training or go boxing or just think about stopping?
No, I think just alongside my studies, sometimes it was a bit much, but I used to look forward to going rather than, I have training, because nobody was forcing me to go. If I didn't want to go, I just didn't go. But I was spending more time in the gym than I thought.
No, I think it's brilliant, and I think it's definitely paying off for you now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you've become a professional boxing coach, yeah? So is that something that you had to
Backtrack. England boxing coach.
Are you an England boxing coach?
Yes.
So talk to me, what does that mean?
So an England boxing coach is for the amateurs who like represent the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So any boxer that represents England,
yeah,
you can coach them.
Yeah. Well, actually, not. An amateur coach starts in the gym, basically level 1. You're in a gym. You might have somebody who's done boxing for a few years. You might have somebody who's done boxing that's just walked in who wants to do boxing. So all levels. And then obviously then comes like the corners, the competitions. You can kind of differentiate between who wants to do it seriously and who wants to do it just for fitness. Being like at the stage I'm at, I can do corners. I can kind of assist supervising sparring. If I go for my level 2, which hopefully I will be doing, then I can supervise sparring on my own, and it's just like another step basically.
Yeah.
But what came in between, the plan was to do my level 1 and then do my level 2, but then I kind of put myself in a better position because I've done my level 1 and now I've been selected to be on the women's coach development program.
Okay.
So there's every year, it's been going on for 3 years now, so this is the 3rd year. 12 women get picked across the whole country.
Okay.
To kind of enhance their skills and really develop as a coach, and then on there we get to kind of get other opportunities that other coaches usually wouldn't. So it's like being on the Aspire program, sharing, like going on a residential together and learning different skills together. So I just started that last month.
So how did that make you feel when you got chose to do that?
Really good. Definitely more confident in myself, but for the first time I got the opportunity to meet other female coaches.
Okay.
Because all throughout doing boxing and being a coach, in Bolton I've been the only female. I've not kind of had the chance to meet anyone or kind of get that support from another coach. So it's really nice all of a sudden being in a room full of 12 female coaches, but also the previous 12 people who graduated, they're now our mentors.
Oh, that's nice.
So there's like 24 of us, and it's really, really good.
Do you feel as if like when you went there you could relate on so many things?
Oh yeah, definitely. I thought there was definitely some situations I thought only applied to me.
And
really? Then I heard them talk about their own experiences and I realised actually it's everyone, it's normal.
What was like some of the common sort of things that you realised when speaking to other female coaches that they've been through?
Actually, one kind of, I wouldn't say it's a negative, it actually got turned into a positive, but 2 of the female coaches, they recently went in their region to kind of corner the lads in their gym.
Okay.
And every single other coach at that show from all the other gyms were male. And they were the only 2 female coaches there, and they went together. And at the end, somebody went up to them and said, "Excuse me, can we get a picture with you?" And she was a bit confused as to why. And he said, "I've never seen a female coach, and like let alone cornering. I've never actually seen a female coach."
Yeah.
So that was kind of their moment to a bit of a starstruck moment. But it's nice that we can all kind of share these experiences. And I feel like in our own way, we all might have had that one bad experience.
Yeah.
But we're all still here and we're all still trying to get better.
Do you think would you recommend this to other girls to get into?
Definitely, yeah, 100%. I feel like if you're like I was telling you before, sports wasn't even a thing for me. In school I used to do anything to get out of my PE lessons. And I remember the days I used to do extra maths and English, and now the same teachers actually, we laugh, and because I do go back to school quite often, and they used to say, "I remember when you used to be like this, and who would have thought?" And I just say, like, you don't know what's going to come, you don't know what's ahead, so don't kind of write something off before you've even done it.
I agree. So like you did mention that you didn't like PE and stuff in school. So how do you go from like not liking PE then going into like boxing?
Okay, so one thing I kind of didn't mention is it's not that I did like PE, and now what I'm realizing in like year 7, 8, 9, 10, I was actually representing the school. So netball, I was really good at netball.
Okay.
I used to be goal attack, and goal shoot sometimes. Pretty much the same thing. But then kind of represented on the football team. I remember once in primary school, we never ever did tennis, but the school heard about a competition, randomly got everybody in the right, they just wanted to see who can hit the ball, and I got chosen for that. So there was that sporty side to me, hockey, until I nearly got my head taken off. But I did like the sporting opportunities, but then I remember year 11, none of the Asian girls were into it and they weren't competitive, and I think it was that for me. That, like, if there was any other Asian girl who liked it, I guess that would boost me as well. But when we did the bleep test and stuff, I was the only one in set 1 for PE. So all my friends would have theirs, like, separately. They'd do dodgeball or something, and they'd expect us to do, like, a full kind of game of netball, and I just wasn't motivated. So when it came to GCSE time, I actually suggested, I said, seeing as though I'm not too bothered about PE, can I do extra maths and English instead?
Okay, so you've always been like a sporty person. Sport's always been part of your life. And stuff. Have you ever thought about taking boxing seriously in the sense of becoming a female boxer?
I'll be honest with you, no.
Why is that?
Because for me, I'm more of a... There's been one thing in me, and it's been like leadership qualities and teaching qualities.
Okay.
In the past, I know I'd be like a really good teacher, but again, I couldn't like put my finger on it. Is there that one subject? But I have this thing where my kind of what I do is I lead and I teach.
Okay.
Rather than being a student. And even in the workplace, one thing about me, I don't, as a person, it's not that I don't like being told what to do, but I like doing things my own way.
Okay.
So just because of the way that I am, I just don't think it would suit.
Okay. And so are you coaching currently?
Yeah.
So you're still coaching?
Yeah, so I'm coaching at the Amir Khan Academy.
Okay.
So it's the club's called Round for Round, and we're based at the Amir Khan Academy.
Round for Round? I've come across them.
It's the Round for Round project. It's both hand in hand, really. It's the same thing, yeah.
Okay, Round for Round. Okay, so do you get paid? Is this like a job?
Yeah, well, so my sessions, we worked out with the gym. So there's a percentage that I get and a percentage that they get, but that's like the rent towards the gym. But in the past, it's been different. It just depends where you are. Different gyms have it different ways.
Yeah, again, because I know we spoke again off camera and you were telling me that you're still studying. So I thought you've already graduated and law was kind of done for you, but you're still pursuing your degree. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So talk to me. So what's the thought process in that, and what's the goal at the end of it?
So initially the thought process was to do my law degree, to do my LPC and masters, and then get a training contract straight away and become a solicitor. But boxing really took off for me last year, especially coaching. Like, I'm now coaching, there's like, the group's got like 57 girls in now, so I'm really...
so there's a lot more girls that have started to take up boxing now? Yeah.
So I think we missed a bit.
Okay.
We missed a chapter. So when I became a coach, I didn't realise it was a big thing. For me, it was normal, like, I'm a coach, at least I've got my certificate, now I can just carry on doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But one thing that I realised, like you asked me before, what advice would you give to a girl who wants to do boxing but couldn't? I realised, how about I can run my own female-only sessions?
Okay, so you run your own female-only session boxing?
Yes. So I started this, I got my qualification in January, and then when I had some free time, I started in March. So I said, every Friday, I'm going to do an hour session. Let me know if you want to come. So it started off with 12 girls. 12 girls.
And this is in Bolton?
Yeah. This was in Bolton. It started off with 12 girls. Then it was like 15 girls. Then it was like 20 girls. Then all of a sudden, I'm getting messages like, oh, can you do one-to-ones? And I'm like, can I do one-to-ones? Very quickly, I needed a bigger space, which is how I ended up at Amir Khan's Academy. So now I run 2 classes on a Friday night. One at 7 till 8, one at 8 till 9. And in between that, as and when I can for now, like, I do the one-to-ones as well.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
Well, fair play to you. So there's obviously a demand.
There is a demand. We went from 12 to now 60 people, and it's still growing. I've got people travelling from Nelson. I've got people asking me they're from Bury. Because
and you're
there is a
only
demand.
21?
Yeah.
Mashallah. So I'm thinking now, I've got like, you could literally set up your own academy.
Yeah.
You could do multiple sessions. Like, you could train
Yeah.
other coaches. And is that the dream?
Well, another thing that came about when I did become a coach and I started these sessions, it's what I got known for in Bolton. I got nominated for 2 awards last year.
Okay.
It's called the She Inspires Awards, and every year it's just got bigger and bigger and bigger.
She Inspires Awards.
Yeah.
And you got nominated.
I got nominated for 2 and I became a finalist for both. So one was Volunteer of the Year, based off like the boxing and the charity work and everything else. And then
Mashallah.
Young Achiever of the Year. And I won Young Achiever of the Year in November. So that itself was like another kind of step up and another platform where there's quite a few people who know me for a number of different reasons, and everybody kind of all has the same question. So what's the plan? And the plan has changed very swiftly, because it was do the degree, do the masters, become a solicitor. And now I've realised I'm actually doing more of what I enjoy now.
Okay.
And because based off that, I've been going to a lot of like schools, colleges, universities, delivering talks. I've had like kind of community members, like high up members of the community, saying to me, oh, we've had this issue in a school where a girl feels like she can't pursue her dream because of what her family might think. It was politics. She feels like she can't pursue politics and she's willing to sacrifice that. What advice would you give? So I found myself randomly saying yes to all these different opportunities, like getting myself involved in loads of different things. Then came Lebanon in November, and that kind of completely brought a different side out to me. And I'd say that's the emotional side, the really nurturing side. And it made me realise that at the end of the day, if I was going to do law, is it money motivated? Potentially. But it's really about what's going to fulfill me the most. Yeah. So when I came back, it wasn't a reality check, but I just realised that life's too short. You have to do what you enjoy and what you are genuinely passionate about.
Do you feel as if, okay, so you're in a position where you're studying law, you're currently studying law, which you've kind of fell into.
Yeah.
And it's not as if you don't like it, but it's not as if it's like you're not over the moon with it.
No, do you know what? Actually, when I do get my master's, I will be over the moon, because I do love it. Yes.
Okay, so you like law.
Another thing, actually, that recently kind of I dwelled on was law's massive. So it doesn't necessarily mean, like, in my master's right now, I'm doing commercial competition, employment, and what's the other one? Family law. So there's different avenues. But one thing that I am interested in is sports law. So even within the sporting industry, there are jobs for lawyers out there. So I think a time might come where I'll be able to fuse the two together. And in boxing, actually, especially, boxing is, a lot of people know, like, it's more than just 2 people in a ring. What happens behind and the contracts that are involved, you're always going to need a lawyer for that. So we just don't know.
That's clever, that is. So it's not as if you're going to give up one thing to do the other, is it? You're trying to do both and then get to a point where it sort of combines. Mm-hmm. That's smart, that is.
Yeah, up till now I've always done both and it's been fine. I feel like it's weird because they're both completely different, but you need the same qualities for both.
What do you mean by that?
So going back to the sacrifice, going back to the discipline, going back to kind of knowing how to be confident on your own. These are things that you need in boxing and you need in law as well. And I feel like it's weird because out of every sport, why boxing? And I feel like boxing and law, you have to be good and you have to be skilled in the same way.
You're smart. You're smart, mashallah. You know when you say sacrifice, do you ever get, I want to say down, because you're still doing something that you enjoy, but do you ever feel left out sometimes when you see maybe friends and family kind of doing things, going out for dinners, going out for whatever, and you've said no to that because you've got training or you've got to study? Do you ever get that FOMO where you feel like that, I'm missing out?
You know, when I started my sessions on a Friday, I didn't realise that Friday is one of them days where a lot happens on a Friday. It's either Friday or Saturday. And I had my sessions on a Friday night. And then obviously at the Amir Khan Academy as well on a Friday night. That's because I chose to have it on a Friday night because I'm used to it. But it's not my first choice, but it's the girls. I ask the girls first what's best. And they all said Friday night because we don't have school the next day. And yeah, that was the main thing. And I thought, do you know what? If it's convenient for yourself to have it on a Friday, I will give up my Friday. Very rarely, if it's something really important, I will kind of either try and have it on another day or cancel it that night. But now when it comes to a Friday, I always think about the girls first. And if my friends are going out and I have to kind of give that up, I'll do that because it's more important to me.
Do your friends ever give you any sort of, no, I wouldn't say hate, do they ever give you any sort of a hard time because of it?
No, the thing is, I'm very selective about my friends, and I'm glad that the friends that I have are very understanding, and they know right now, like, I'm in the work mode. Like, they know, like, not to kind of, they know my routine, so they know on a Friday I have boxing. So instead of like, oh, what are you doing on Saturday? And
okay,
yeah, they get it now. They're really understanding like that.
Okay, so how important do you think it is of the people that you keep around you? Because I know you just touched on it just now. Because I'm just thinking from the audience perspective. I know a lot of young girls are going to be watching this because of you. You know, you're quite popular online. I know a lot of young girls look up to you, and mashallah, you know, from I can tell now you're a very driven person. You've got your head screwed on, which is good. What are your friends like? Are they very much like yourself, or would you say they're completely different?
Everyone needs a funny friend. Like the friend that I've had from the start. The friend that I've had from the start, Aisha, I've known her from day one. Okay. Like our dads were friends, then we're friends, and then our brothers are the same age, so even they're friends. So even if we always joke and we say even if we wanted to get away from each other, we can't. But yeah, Aisha's the funny one, and I think she knows me better than anyone else. And don't get me wrong, we've had ups and downs, like friends come and go, but the way we are, we've had like fallouts where we thought I'm never gonna chat to her again, and then somehow we're mates again. And I think that's what a real friend is, and that's what a real friendship is. You have to go through hard patches and get through it to know if you're actually friends. And then a lot of people, one of my friends, she got married quite recently. Mashallah, I'm really happy for her. But you know what they say, like sometimes, you know when a friend gets married, yeah, they're off the map.
Yeah,
like
you
we're now Insta friends. We don't see each other often. But yeah, and then my other friends, they either go uni or they work. So we're not girls who are free all the time, who can go out all the time. Now I feel like the outings are so rare. Like it'll be good if I see them like once every like 2 months. Yeah.
I'm just trying to think what I was doing at your age. So you're 21. I was at uni at 21. Yeah, but maybe we won't discuss what I was doing at 21. Okay, so you enjoy boxing, you enjoy law. The plan is to become... maybe I'm putting words into your mouth, but you mentioned the idea of maybe going into like sports law or anything.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that may be on the agenda? Because I know you like business.
Yeah.
You started a business when you were very young. It feels like you like to do everything in that sense, where if you like something, you don't put it off because you're doing something else. You put your mind to it and you do it. Talk to me about the business that you were involved in or you started when you were younger. The face painting business. Yeah. How did that come about?
It came about on the back of NCS. So after school finished, I did the National Citizenship Service Award, and we had to do like a community project, and I realised that there was nothing for the kids in our town centre, so I suggested, let's do. I really felt like it was my apprentice moment. Yeah. So I took the position of PM, and I said, right, it has to be community based. We're not doing one project, we're doing 3 projects. So we split it up. We did like interfaith, so we got like the church, mosque, synagogue, we got them all involved. And then another one was for the homeless. So going into Asda, getting everybody to get an extra item and then giving it to the homeless through a charity.
So this was part of your NCS thing?
Yeah, this was part of my plan. So this is the things I pitched, and they were like, yeah, let's do it. yeah, and so Homeless Aid UK, I do know him quite well. Back then, I think I'd only ever interacted with him once, and I rang him and I said, "Oh, can we do this for your charity?" And he said, "Yeah, do you know, let us know, and then you can come and drop it all off, or we can have a car or whatever." We ended up raising so much, he needed a van.
No way.
And then he was like, "Do you know what? It would be nice if you could actually come and check it out yourself." And we didn't think we were going to do that well, but it was really, really cool.
What was it that you were doing? Say that again. So you were going to Asda.
Yeah, no, so I pitched to Asda. I'd done it with school before, but this was now outside of school, so I had to do it myself. But what you do is I pitched to Asda and I said, "Look, this is the charity that we want to work with, Homeless Aid UK, and we want to help them raise like different items, food items for the homeless." So you kind of, we had our, with leaflets and explaining to everybody that we know you're doing your daily shop, this and that. If you can just get one extra item, if you want, it's going for the homeless. So whether that be a pack of biscuits or tinned food and whatever.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, like people coming back with like loads of stuff. And before you knew it, we had like 4 or 5 trolleys full and we didn't know what to do with it. We needed a van.
Wow. Mashallah. So what made you do that then? Like, what made you get up and think, you know what? Let me spend my Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah.
Let me go speak to Asda.
Yeah.
Like, what made you want to do that in the first place?
Obviously,
I know it's a good reason.
It was not, because the thing is, when I was part of this NCS group, we had 3 different ideas. Like, that was my idea.
Yeah.
And then somebody mentioned the interfaith thing. Mm-hmm. And then I also had the face painting.
Okay.
So I've always been like a multitasker. If there's 10 of us, why should we only do one thing?
Makes sense.
And then for the face painting one, that's how the face painting got into it. I'd never face painted in my life. In fact, like, I didn't really know I had this creative side to me. But I thought, if I can't do it, somebody else can. And there was kind of a rule, like, you cannot make profit from your community task. It's purely for the community. And I thought, well, do you know what? I guess it's not profit if you're making money and it goes back to the community. So that's what we did.
So you kind of broke the law. No, you can't.
I might have broken the NCS rules,
yeah,
maybe. But do you know what? They were really happy with it, because for that, I had to get in touch. How old was I now? I was 16. And I got in touch with the events organizer of Marketplace, and I said to her, "Oh, we're doing our NCS. Can we do some face painting for the kids? Because there's just nothing for the kids." And she said, "Oh, that would be a really good idea." Now, we've done it for like, I think 4 or 5 days, made the profit, that went to charity, and kind of went about our summer after that. We kind of, at the end of NCS, we had like a graduation and stuff. Summer holidays started. Now I've gone to college from September, and I'm new in college, and then in December I get a call on my phone from the events organizer of town, and she said, "Oh, hi Sannah, you alright?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm good, how are you?" She goes, "Oh, do you still do the face painting?" And I was laughing. I was like, "No, I never." I said, that was just the one-off
thing.
She goes, "Yeah, but I need a face painter." And I was like, "Yeah, but I'm not a face painter." She goes, "It's fine." She said, "Next, as in next retail, are raising money for an Alzheimer's charity for Christmas." And she goes, "They've had these buckets out all day and they've not made a penny." And she goes, "We need something." And she goes, "I suggested you because you do face painting." And I was like, "But I don't." She goes, "Please just come in anyway." I was like, "Do you know what?" I still had the face paints and stuff, and I thought, I'll go and do it. And I did.
What, on your own?
On my own. And manager of Next, like, "Oh, the face painter's here, the face painter. Everybody get your face painted so they know we're doing face painting." I'm like, "Oh my God, if these aren't new, I'm only 16. And then she said to me, so the first day went really good. We were kind of like almost snowed in. And the next day she said, "Oh, can you come again?" And like, I thought, "Do you know what? There's nothing to do anyway. Like, why not?" And I went and did it again. And that's when she asked me, she said, "How old are you?" I was like, "Oh, I'm 16. And she goes, "How long have you been face painting?" I said, "I'm not a face painter." So she goes, "What do you do?" And I said, "I'm actually in college and I'm studying A-levels." So she goes, "Do you have a job?" And I was like, "No." "Do you want to work?" And I was like, "I don't really mind." That's how I got my first job.
What job did she give you?
I started working part-time at Next.
Oh, so you got a job out of it as well at the end of it?
Yes. So what happened was, again, Christmas time, she asked me if I wanted a job and I said yeah. They got about 30 Christmas temps in just for Christmas, like a 3-4 week contract.
Yeah.
Christmas, New Year's. I was the only 16-year-old. Everybody there had either previously been as a temp before, or they were a friend of a worker, or it was all very internal. And once we'd all got like the basic training, she let everybody go and she said, "Oh, Sannah, can you stay behind, please?" And I thought, "Oh, what have I done? Am I in trouble on my first day?" And she made me put a headset on and she goes, "No, this is your extra training because we're actually taking you on. We're going to offer you a permanent contract."
Sick.
And that's how I got my first job.
That's quite cool.
And I was 16, so like I would have imagined myself working, but not at such a young age. Like 16 for me, like I thought that's the time I'm going to really focus on my A-levels, and I did. But this is going back to sacrifice again. So now if you build a picture, I was doing my A-levels, I was boxing in the evenings, and now I've got a Saturday Sunday job.
Yo, you was a hustler, innit?
Yeah.
I like that. I want to go back to the face painting because you know what?
I just realised I missed that. The business.
You know why I want to go back to the face painting?
Yeah.
Because you're not a face painter by any means, yeah? Yet you kind of threw yourself in the deep end. You kind of took the opportunity that came your way. Because you could easily said, "No, I'm not a face painter. I'm going to do a rubbish." Sorry, can you just...
Catastrophe.
I'm going to do a rubbish job. You could have given yourself so many excuses, but you didn't.
No.
And I think that's where a lot of people fall. So, if people want to start a business, if people want to pursue something, if people want to learn a new skill, the fear will kind of grab them and be like, "No, I can't do that. What am I thinking?" Whereas with you, I've noticed if you want to do something, you don't let fear kind of take control. You kind of go in full force, which is good. But I want to talk a little bit about that. So when you took that opportunity to go there and do the face painting, how did you know how much to charge?
So because it was for charity, we weren't charging a lot. It was literally like whatever. 3-4 quid.
Okay. And did you ever turn it into an actual business, or was it just something that you done like as a little side thing?
No, so then eventually I turned it into a business.
Okay, so you've turned that into a full-on business.
Yeah,
afterwards.
so what's happened, when I did do it for Next, and Town knew me as a face painter and a face painter, one thing that I was looking at, I thought, do you know what, it would be a nice little side thing, because I had family asking me, "Oh, Sannah, you do face painting, don't you?" And I'm like, "I don't." I think, do you know what, seeing as though people think I might as well do a business. But more than the face painting, do you know one thing? Again, it was about being different, because I knew there was face painters out there. It was the glitter tattoos, and it was something that I'd come across with my mum. We were looking at like kind of face painting equipment, and we came across glitter tattoos, and I thought, do you know what, they look really good.
Glitter tattoos?
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it on my Instagram.
Let me have a look. On my phone. I don't know my phone.
One second, I'll show you on mine.
I just want to quickly have a look what they're like.
And these are actually really popular for parties. Now they've taken over rather than the glitter tattoos, especially in the summer. The girls love them. To be fair, the boys do as well.
If they're a bit fruity. I'm joking.
No, they're actually cute. I've had guys put them on as well.
Glitter tattoos?
Yeah. So it's literally like...
Okay.
And then you can have it on your face as well.
So it's like a stencil?
Yeah, but you can literally have it any colour.
And then... Is this your business page?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. What's it called?
Enchanted Face Paint.
Enchanted. People, if you want to... Is that still running? Like, do you still do it?
Do you know what? I can't lie. Like, do you know when I try to do as many as I can in the summer.
If someone was to reach out to you from this podcast and say...
It depends what day it is, honestly.
Okay, so it's like a side thing.
Yeah.
It's like a little side.
This is definitely a side thing.
Okay, it's definitely a little side thing. But guys, you never know. You might get Sannah at your next event, painting your face. Okay. Have you been scared at any point going through all these journeys and all these opportunities that have come your way? Has there been a moment where you've thought, "Oh, I don't know if I can do this"? Whether it's taking boxing coaching seriously, whether it's doing the face painting or anything else, has there been a time where you've thought, "Nah, I can't do it"?
Once. Okay. And it was actually not boxing related, or it wasn't even uni related or anything like that. I started doing the public speaking. Okay. And kind of did local schools at the start in Bolton. So I went back to my primary school and my high school, and then my college. And yeah, it was... I kind of got known as, like, she's a speaker as well now. Like, she
Yeah.
speaks.
Face painter, speaker, boxer, lawyer. What's next?
Open iftar. So, like, in Ramadan, I got the opportunity to present two really nice iftars, and one of them was by a foundation called Young Interfaith.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, like, Dr. Waqas Khan and Yusuf Tai, and they got in touch with me saying, Sannah, I would love for you to host an event alongside Dr. Waqas. And because I know them and because I do, like, Young Interfaith, it's really good. I was like, yeah, definitely do that. So that was at the Emirates Old Trafford. And 2 days later, I had one at the Manchester Cathedral with 1,200 people in attendance. Now, the only thing is, with my busy, like, uni schedule, and then obviously this guy doing open iftars across the whole country, I felt like I wasn't prepped for the first time.
What do you mean?
Prepped as in, there was no, like... I got what I was saying on the day.
Okay.
But before that, all I kept hearing was, oh, like, you'll be fine. The guy had full confidence in me, and hats off to him. That's the reason I did it. He said to me, Sannah, you're going to be absolutely fine. You've done this before. I think that's the one time I'm like, but I can't because we've not gone through anything. He goes, we don't have to. He goes, just do it on the day.
Just freestyle.
I was like, are you being serious? And he was like, yeah, you can. He goes, you can do it. And I'm glad because I did it. And that, again, it just kind of...
boosted your confidence even more.
I thought I was going to be really nervous because there was like 1,200 people. But by doing these speaking things, like, again and again, I do enjoy it now.
I think because, public speaking isn't a joke.
It's
not.
They say it's like the second biggest fear after death for a lot of people.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't know what I'll be like, to be fair. I think I'll be alright, personally speaking. But I know for a lot of people, like, I was mentioning to you this before, like, I was going to interview a boxer on the podcast, and, very hard, very aggressive, like he'll smoke anyone in the ring type of person.
Yeah.
But then as soon as he sat down and the camera was on him, he was like he froze, like he didn't know what to do. And so it's crazy to think, no matter how hard or big you are, standing in front of people or in front of a camera, it's a different ball game.
It is.
So I think what you're going through now, don't you think it's like good because it's kind of setting you up?
Yeah.
So when you get these bigger opportunities, I could actually see you being on The Apprentice. Don't you think? Like, she's like the perfect candidate of being on The Apprentice.
I can see. Do you know someone said that to me? You know, the year Harpreet won.
Yeah.
They said to me, "Oh, do you know what? You really need to go on this." Like, I think people see it as well now, and I see it. I'm just waiting for the right time.
I could definitely see you on The Apprentice. Would you ever do it?
Yeah.
Would you?
Definitely.
And at the end of it, you'd have to build a business plan. If you were to start any business as of right now, what business would it be?
So I do have plans of, this should have been done ages ago, but with my degree, it's just been very hard to get it in. But starting my own personal brand, and it's the kind of, when I say brand, it's basically a platform on a website base, so I'm a bit more out there. But in terms of finding the boxing store, finding the public speaking and everything all at once. But what I do want to do is, after my master's is done, kind of, when I go to schools and I do all these talks, I need to have some sort of a tailored kind of service, as in what I can actually offer. So mentoring is another thing, and there's a lot, but that's the pit stop. So it'll all be on that brand.
I can see what you're saying.
It's one thing, but it branches out into loads of different things.
Your personal brand is you, yeah? So you are your personal brand.
Yeah.
I think what you're trying to say is kind of put like a process behind it where, like, say, do you have a website?
So I've bought the domain.
Yeah.
It's mine, but it's just about setting it up.
Yeah. So I think what you want to do is put a website together, have like your contact information, put like testimonials of maybe what some of the people I've worked with you have said about you. These are the types of things that you do, public speaking, whether it's going to schools and talking to the students there, or whether it's XYZ, whatever, boxing coach or whatever. Just like a main place where people can go reach out to you. Just like this, people will probably go to your website, reach out to you to go onto their podcast, share some of the knowledge and some of the experiences that you've been through, and I think that you should definitely do that.
Yeah.
But one thing you should definitely do is apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
I can definitely 100 million% see you on there. You're like the perfect candidate, and I'm pretty sure you'll smash it on there. Okay, I want to talk a little bit sort of about your upbringing, because again, I assumed you were Pakistani. And have your parents been supportive of you? And the reason why I asked that is because you've been in a lot of the newspaper. There's been newspaper articles and stuff like that. What were your parents' reaction when they seen like, oh my god, like Sannah's in the newspapers? Like,
do you know, it's something that my mum literally, we bring it up quite a bit.
Do you get teased about it?
No.
Okay.
I don't get teased about it because my mum brought this up the other day. She said, remember, Sannah, like literally a couple of years ago, you said to your dad you were going to be in the papers for something and you didn't know for what or how, but you said you were going to do it. And I was like, yeah. And my dad still can't believe it because it was weird. I have my deep moments when I'm washing up. I kind of have an OCD of like washing up. So that's when I have all my thoughts. And I was saying to my dad one day, I said, Dad, you know, one day I'm going to be in the papers quite a bit, but I don't know why or what. And he even used to laugh. And he saw that I had that personality, but he was just like, okay, but like how or when or... I said, I just don't know. I just got a feeling like I'm going to do something with my life. And then a year later it happened. And it's something that we revisit all the time. And it's not like... I never get teased about it. They're really supportive of it, so they're quite proud.
Oh, mashallah. That's good, man. So you kind of called it before it even happened.
Yeah.
So how did that make you feel then? Was that a proud moment for yourself, was it?
It's made me feel that, you know what? I don't know, like, do you know when they say you should like manifest things?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big believer, like, if you genuinely say I'm going to do this and believe it, it'll happen.
I like that.
And it sounds very cliche, but it's true. Like, if with your whole heart you don't believe it, then
Where does your ambition come from?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Have you always been like, since you can remember?
Ever since a young age. Like I've just been different all the time. Like I'd say I've always been a bit extra, so I don't do what's expected of me, but I'll go beyond. And then if it's something passionate about, I'm very giving. So in that sense, a lot of my success has become of the person that I am. And it always goes back down to helping people.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. If you could have one job in the world, regardless of the money, regardless of the fame, let's just say at the end of the month you were going to be left with £5,000.
Yeah.
So you could be a bin man, or you could be, a pilot. And you could have any job or any sort of industry that you'd be in. What would you do? Like for the rest of your life.
It's a hard question, that. I don't know.
If you had to choose, and again it could be anything.
I do love my coaching. I love what I'm doing now, my coaching, but it's also what comes, the opportunities that come along with it. It'd have to be something involving travelling, networking, meeting a lot of people. I guess that just screams business. It would have to be something business related.
So pretty much what you're doing now is kind of the dream, isn't it? Because you like coaching, you like boxing.
Yeah.
You spoke about sort of going into law and mashing those two worlds together.
Yeah.
Your parents seemed as if they were very supportive, which is, mashallah, a very good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking about the young girls that are watching again that want to do something that's probably out of the norm. Boxing coaching is out of the norm for a lot of girls.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone that wants to pursue their goals but they're scared of judgment?
From the very start, to have your parents on your side, you need to be best friends with your parents. And I think that's what's made everything easier for me. Because I'm not just saying this, I mean it, like I have such an open relationship with my mum and dad, in the sense that my mum's like my best mate. I tell my mum everything, even sometimes like the things that I can hold back, but just to be on the safe side. Like my mum's always said like a couple of things like, don't lie to your parents about where you are, don't lie about who you're with, and that she's not saying that in it's more of a concerned way, because
Okay.
if something's to happen, for example, we need to know where you are and what, like, who you're with. And they've been very, like, open about, they know my friends as well. Like, my parents know all my friends, male, female, whatever. And I guess that makes them a part of the journey, and that's what makes them all the more understanding. So when I come out with, oh, I want to do boxing, and then when I say later, oh, I want to go to Lebanon, I want to do some charity work, and then in the future there'll be other opportunities, because they're in the loop the whole time.
Yeah.
That's why they support it, because it's exciting for them as well to see. Once upon a time, she just used to go boxing sessions, then she's a coach, and now she's here, and then she'll be here. It's nice. Now, I know that a lot of people my advice to the girls would be, don't hold back from telling your parents things, because if you're going to treat them like just your parents and that's it, that's what you're going to get out of it. But if you treat your parents like your friends, spend time with them. Like, I spend a lot of time with my family. Even the little things, like, you know, when we're at home, we have this rule at home, and it's like not to spend too much time in your bedroom. Like, okay. Family time is family time. We eat together, we sit together. And yeah, don't get me wrong, sometimes my brother will be upstairs on the phone for a bit, but there's a bit of a limit. And we kind of see it as like, it's kind of a thing, like, you have to spend a bit of time with your family every day, and tell them how your day is gone, and tell them what you've been up to. And it's the little things that I thought that was normal in every family. But then say I've gone to my friend's house, and like, one of my mates, she was really surprised, like, oh my God, you all eat together every day. And I was like, yeah. And then I go to a friend's house, and like, it's normal for them all to be in their own rooms. And I feel like how it is at home, it has an effect on the outcome, definitely.
So that's obviously you've benefited from that, having a close relationship with your family and stuff. But yeah, I can tell you definitely now that's not the case in a lot of families.
No.
I'm pretty close with my family, I think. Like, when we were younger, definitely, like, I was kind of like yourself, where we'd all have to eat together.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, as you get older, I think that's kind of changed a little bit. That's probably due to because everyone's got like a busy schedule and stuff. But that's a very interesting point that you said there, and I agree with it as well. I think if you've got that good relationship with your family, and you're not hiding anything, you haven't got that pressure in case you get caught, or if you're here when you said you've been there, and also I completely agree with that. Another thing I wanted to touch up just before we kind of wrap up the whole podcast is, I know you mentioned that you do some charity work.
Yeah. So
talk to me in regards to sort of what you do in regards to charity work and how that came about.
Again, my charity work started with the Duke of Edinburgh Award. So with the volunteering, I started volunteering for Penny Appeal. And then that kind of came to an end when I was in college doing my A-levels. Actually, no, I did it up to there. It was university, because I was going to uni in Manchester. I kind of...
You're uni in Manchester?
Yeah, I go to the University of Law. It's
in Manchester?
Yeah.
I'm in Manchester.
Did you? To uni?
Yeah.
Which one?
A very long time ago.
Was it?
I went to Man Met.
Okay.
I went to Man Met.
That was one of my options.
Yeah. So you go to Manchester, yeah. And so you live there?
So Bolton's like 15 minutes away.
Bolton's like 2 minutes down the road, isn't it? I used to stay in literally off Windsor Road. Yeah. Literally off there.
Oh, so you actually moved out?
Yeah, I moved out.
How was that? What did you study?
I studied computer science.
Okay.
And I enjoyed it. I think it's definitely an experience.
Yeah.
I think looking back, I should have probably stayed at home, because I think when you're at home, you're a lot more focused. You haven't got the temptations of just going out without the restriction of like, because there's no restriction at that point. It's literally you're surrounded by friends. And another thing that I done when I went to uni was I went with my best mate, which is probably another wrong thing to do. Is because when you're with your mate and you're living with your best mate, you can only imagine the antics. I don't know if I want to put this out there yet, but no, it was definitely a good experience.
It's good that you mentioned that though, because mine could have been similar in the sense that I did get places. I applied to Liverpool and Leeds. And a part of me could not wait to leave college and move out.
Yeah.
But the one thing, because I thought, uni life, straight up. I was like, I've not done 2 years of college here to not move out. So we went to Leeds and we went to Liverpool and we checked them out. And then it's when I saw the students and I kind of looked at the lights. I'm like, can I really do this? I thought about it. And then I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen at home if I'm not there. Like,
yeah,
I'm the chatterbox in the house. My house would be pin drop silent if I'm not there. And then again, boxing and the charity work. I thought, can I really leave all of that? And I thought, no, I'm going to go to Manchester.
That's good though. I think that's probably...
Again, that was meant to happen. Because had I moved, we wouldn't be here today.
Do you ever get a feeling, again, I know I asked you in regards to sort of the sacrifices in regards to your friends. Do you ever get FOMO? You know how I asked you about, because you do your classes on Friday night, do you ever get that fear of missing out, like when your friends are going out? Similar situations, do you ever feel as if, I wish I did move out?
No, not at all. It's the opposite.
You're glad?
Now I'm so glad I didn't move out because COVID happened. So the feel just wasn't the same anyway. And then
so what year? So you've graduated now, haven't you?
I've graduated. So I'm doing my postgraduate now, which is only 9 months as well. For me, it's really weird because I'm really glad I didn't even go to like MMU or whatever. The uni that I go to is like not because of that, not because of that.
MMU, yeah.
No, not because of that. MMU, I've heard like it's good, like it's a good uni.
It's alright.
But I've heard about the library antics there.
The library antics.
And I'm gonna say, my uni, it's the complete other end of the spectrum of what I was expecting uni life to be. It's like being in school for another 4 years.
Is it?
And I say that because again, disciplined. It's disciplined. I feel like I'm in a boarding school. I feel like I'm in a boarding university.
Yeah.
But that is a good thing because they care. All of our teachers are ex-solicitors and barristers, or they are practicing still, and they do this as a side job. So we're getting like proper real examples, and they can tell us about what they do in practice and things like that. It's very small. So I think in my year, I can't even put a number to it, but nothing like a big uni. Like, it's just one building and everything happens in that building.
I don't know if it was the Manchester Uni Law Building or the MMU Law Building. My building was literally next to it. So it's not even Uni of Manchester. The uni is called Uni of Law in Manchester. So they've got Uni of Law it's a franchise. So they've got campuses, Uni of Law London, Bloomsbury, Nottingham, Leeds, Manchester, Chester, Guildford. I might have missed one. I don't know. Oh, so you go to Uni of Law? Yes. In Manchester? Yes. Okay. So it's just on its... Is that like some high level uni? I'd say so, yeah. Yeah. Because you confused me a little bit there, because when you was talking about boarding school and I'm thinking, I'm sure Manchester Uni is like that. It's so, you know how like yours, like MMU and that, it's like Oxford Road sides. This is Oxford Road, where Piccadilly is, and you know where Arndale is. There's a building like this City Tower. So now my master, they just bought, because they're expanding now. There's not enough teaching rooms, so we're now on the 8th floor of City Tower. It doesn't. It feels weird, like psychologically. I don't feel like I'm going to university. I go to Manchester, I go into City Tower, and then I'm on the 8th floor, and the views and stuff is really nice. It's different. It's not like uni, but then at the same time, everybody's there for the head down. You go into the library, it is literally pin drop silence. I can't do more than 10 minutes in there. I can't study like that, but it's good. Do you like reading? Because I know there's a lot of reading involved in law. Yeah. It depends what I'm reading. But my dad always had this weird thing about, like, always remembers this weird thing about me. And I remember I was like about 6 or 7. And you know, when I used to read these, like, murder mysteries and Harry Potter and all this, I couldn't sleep in the complete dark. So on a school night... the light would be shut and they'd leave the door ajar so that there'd be a bit of light coming into the room, and that's when I'd be reading. And he used to say, like, I don't understand how you can read in the dark. It's literally dark, like there's a bit of light, but I'd read, because they were the days before I had a phone. How old were you when you had your first phone? I remember I had to like really, really ask my dad, like, Dad, all my friends have got one now. I think I might have been about 13, 14. Oh, that's alright. That's a good age, I think.
I had friends who had phones earlier. I guess actually I had an iPod, but you can't really do much.
Yeah, that's just music, isn't it, really?
Do you know what? If I actually showed you a picture of the first thing that my dad got me and called the phone, you wouldn't even believe me.
Well, one of those brick phones?
No, worse.
What's worse than that?
It's literally this big, and it looks like a calculator. It's a square, and it was called a BX1. Just Google that.
You know, when I was in school, mate, firstly, we didn't have phones. Yeah. And then when we did get around to having phones, we used to have these brick phones. And I remember my dad got this, I don't know what it was now. I can't remember what brand it was, but it was one of these big ass phones, yeah. And like we had a phone case on it. And I was begging, because I used to love technology from like when I was young. I used to beg my dad, please let me take this to school. I'm going to be like one of the cool kids. So he goes, yeah, but make sure you don't take it out of your bag, this, that, and the other. I went to school. The first thing I done, I took it out of the bag. I showed all my friends. And
look at my phone.
Exactly. And then there was a trend of the smaller the phone, the better the phone. Do you remember the 8210? Nokia 8210.
Oh, do you know what? The way was it like a rectangle?
No, it's just like it was like. So do you remember 3210? No, Nokia 3210.
No.
See,
you're showing your age now.
No, I know a lot of people that are watching are gonna be like, we know exactly what you're talking about. So do you remember Nokia phones?
Yeah.
What Nokia phone do you remember?
Like that one, the one that's got like a little square screen. No, but there's a few Nokias. Well, I know what a Nokia is.
This is like when the first Nokias come out.
Oh, probably not.
So there's 3210. There was I think it was a 420 or something. Oh, they were the good days, you know. They were the very good days. But I forgot what point I was going to make.
Something about that being your phone. You had to ask your dad for it.
Yeah, but never mind. No, you admit. Yeah, how did you manage to read in the dark? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. I really don't know.
That's a bit weird, isn't it?
It is a bit weird. It's probably one of the weirdest things that I did. But I want, like, the door would be open this much, bit of light. So it's not bright.
Did you not strain your eyes though? I could
just about see. I probably did. I could just about see what he's saying. But yeah, I read some crazy books.
Right, what's next for Sannah?
What's next for Sannah?
What's next?
We've got a good couple of exciting opportunities coming up.
Mm-hmm.
One of them's actually a speaking one. This is a bit too further going on, but perhaps speaking in Saudi Arabia next year.
Oh, mashallah.
It was supposed to be this year, but with everything going on, it was just a bit of a clash. So next year, hopefully. And other than that, see, I don't think I should say too much. Leave that to the imagination. Okay. Because I'm surprised myself. It's all very new. Okay. But
you're gonna keep some things a secret, yeah?
Well, to be fair, if I'm honest, there's a couple of things in the coming weeks that I need to confirm myself first. Okay. Opportunities that I know certain places where I can be, but I'm unsure of my own role purely because I think it's what I have to offer to them rather than what they want from me.
Okay.
So yeah, and obviously moving forward with the academy, still being in the academy, the Sannah Adam brand as well. Obviously, that's no secret. That's definitely happening. No,
that's already happening. I don't think you realise you are your brand. Yeah. You've started it. Now you just gotta package it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just package it on a website, make it look nice and tidy. Yeah. But other than that, I get asked like, have you applied to a training contract and what's happening with your law? I'm not applied for a training contract, and I thought I was being risky about it at first, but there's a reason why I've been not as motivated to apply for a training contract, and I feel like it's all going to make sense soon.
You can't say anything.
Yeah. No, it's not. No, what I want to do is finish this master's, go on holiday, and just honestly, I just go with the flow.
Oh, so you're more like a go with the flow type person.
At the moment, yeah.
But you have got a few plans.
Whatever happens. I've not got any concrete plans, honestly.
Okay.
There's nothing concrete at the moment. But that's the best thing about it, because there's nothing concrete, I can do what I want.
You're quite flexible in that sense. Sannah, if people want to reach out to you, maybe for some advice or for whatever reason, what's the best way for people to get in contact with you?
So it would be my Instagram, @Sannah.Adam.
We'll link it all up in the description. Well, thank you, Sannah, for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
You're welcome.
It's been good fun having you on and chopping it up. And that's it for today. Thank you, and we'll see you
Thank
guys
you.
onto the next one. Peace.